yogis, and thank you for joining me on the mat today. If we haven't met, my name is Lauren, and today I'll be guiding you through some drills to help you on your journey to doing Chaturanga Dandasana, also known as four-limb staff pose. Chaturangas are used all the time in vinyasa classes, but are often executed quite poorly. If you don't have the required strength or use the appropriate alignment, you could do a lot of damage, especially to your shoulders. So today we will start to build up strength in our arms, shoulders and core so that you can start your Chaturanga journey safely. When you feel that you are ready to do the full expression of the pose, please make sure that you do so in front of a yoga teacher so that they can check out that you're doing it safely. As always, I encourage you to move mindfully during your yoga practice by respecting how you are feeling and what level your practice is at. This changes every day, so let's take the time now to check in. So find a comfortable kneeling position, perhaps sitting on blocks or having a blanket underneath you. Hands resting on the thighs or in the lap. Once you've settled in, close your eyes and connect to the breath. Begin to observe the breath, not changing it in any way. Noticing if the breath is deep and slow, maybe quick and shallow. Check in to your body. Notice, is there anywhere that you feel tension, perhaps soreness? Again, not doing anything about this, just noticing. And then checking in to see how you're feeling today. Are you feeling energetic, tired? Knowing that whatever your answer is, that's perfectly okay. Please join me in setting an intention for our practice today. Today we will respect how we're feeling and practice appropriately, not letting our ego get in the way. Slowly blink the eyes open. Let's start by warming up the wrists. So bringing the hands out in front of you, forming fists. Drop the fists down, back up, open the palms, spreading the fingers wide, then closing back to fists, dropping the fists down, coming up, opening wide, fists, down, up, wide. And we'll just keep doing this movement a few more rounds, gradually getting faster and faster as you get used to the movement. This warms up and strengthens our wrists just to prepare them for our body weight that will go on them very shortly. Moving as fast as you can for 10 more rounds. And then when you've done those rounds, just shaking out the hands. Continuing our warm-up, let's set up for prayer curls. So the arms come out in front of you with the palms facing one another. Bring the right hand over the left. Turn to face the palms together. Interlace the fingers. Bend into the elbows. Rotate through the wrists. And bring the hands together in front of the heart. On an inhale, Straightening through the elbows, arms coming up to the sky, chest proud. And as you exhale, bend into the elbows, hands come back in front of the heart and bending forward. Inhale, rotating through the wrists, straightening the arms, reaching them up to the sky. Exhale, rotating, bending, and coming down. Inhale to come up. And exhale to come down. Inhale, rising up. Then releasing the interlace, letting the hands fall back down to the lap. Moving onto the other side. This time we'll bring the left wrist over the right. Flip the palms to face one another. Interlace the fingers. Bend the elbows, rotate the wrists, and folding forward. Inhale, rising up, rotating through the wrists, straightening the arms, reaching them up to the sky. Exhale, coming back down. Inhale to rise. Exhale to fold. Continuing this movement with the timing of your own breath. And the next time you're inhaling and the arms are up, releasing the interlace, letting the fingers drip down. Coming forward into tabletop. Making sure that the wrists are stacked underneath the shoulders and the knees underneath the hips. And begin to circle towards the right. So bringing your body weight forward, over to the right side, back, over to the left. Just continuing this circling motion. Starting off with quite small movements and gradually making them larger. And coming back to center and circling in the other direction. So this time circling over towards the left. Coming back to center. Set yourself in a stable position here by spreading the fingers nice and wide on the mat. And you could either keep the toes tucked or press the tops of the feet down into the mat, just finding what keeps you more stable here. On your next inhale, sending the right leg out behind you so that it's hovering in the air, making sure that the toes are flexed back towards your face. Then bring your left arm out in front of you, taking a moment to find your balance. It can help to imagine that your fingertips and your back heel are being pulled in opposite directions. Then on your next exhale, bringing the elbow to meet the knee underneath the body. Inhale, reaching the arm and leg back out. Exhale, bringing it in. Reaching the arm and the leg out once more. Exhale, coming back to tabletop. This time, sending the left leg out behind you, flexing the foot. Pick up the right hand, bringing the arm outstretched in front of you. Taking a moment to get steady, engaging through the core. Exhale, elbow meets knee under the body. Inhale, arm and leg reaching in opposite directions. Exhale, hugging it all in. Inhale to reach once more. Exhale, coming back down into tabletop. Bring the hands out further in front of you. Tuck the toes, lift the knees, and come into downward facing dog. Taking a moment here to do any movements that you need to settle in, perhaps pedaling the feet, and eventually finding stillness in your dog. On your next inhale, come forward into a high plank, taking a moment to check that your wrists are stacked underneath your shoulders, fingers are spread nice and wide on the mat. To get some extra activation through my arms, I like to jam jar my hands out, so keeping your hands pressing firmly into the mat, just trying to externally rotate them slightly. Keeping your head in a neutral position, I like to look at the top edge of my mat to help me do this. Checking that your hips making a nice line with the rest of your body, so not having them up too high where you're getting out of the pose, but not too low so that you're doing a back bend. Just finding the Goldilocks position here. To add some extra oomph, bring your body weight slightly forward so that you're coming on to your tiptoes. To add some extra engagement here, reach the crown of your head towards the front of the room and push your heels towards the back. On an exhale, lift the hips, push back to downward facing dog. Taking a moment here to catch your breath. And then as you inhale, coming back into our high plank. Engaging the core muscles by bringing the belly button towards the spine. Keeping your legs nice and active here, squeezing the butt cheeks together, pressing out through the heels. And then push back to downward facing dog. We'll do one more round. So coming forward into your high plank. Staying as strong as you can. Then coming back to downward facing dog. And down into extended child's pose. And enjoy this hard-earned rest. Know that you can stay here for as long as you like. When you're ready, coming back to downward facing dog. Coming forward into a high plank. Transition to a low plank by bringing your left forearm onto the mat, followed by the right. Just checking in and seeing how your body feels in this lower plank. Is it easier? Is it harder? And then keeping your engagement, come back up to a high plank by bringing the right hand back onto the mat, straightening through the arm, followed by the left. Do this again, but this time starting with the right forearm coming down, and then the left hanging out here, reaching the crown of the head forward and the heels back. And coming back up to our high plank, starting with the left arm and then the right, pushing back into child's pose. Moving on to our third and final drill for today. Keeping your knees on the mat, just come forward into a plank. And set yourself up with a block underneath your chest and using the height setting that you need so that when your chest is resting on the block, your arm is bent at a 90-degree angle here, making sure that you avoid your shoulders coming further down than your elbow. Of course, this might look a little different for everyone, but the key is to make sure that your shoulder remains in a stable and sturdy position. And once that is all set up, come into plank pose, just making sure that your chest is over the block. And you could do this drill with the knees down or with the knees lifted, making sure that you're respecting how you're feeling today and where your practice is at. I'll definitely be doing it with the knees down. So as we set up here, fingertips are nice and wide, jam jarring the hands out, elbows hug in towards the body, core engaged, checking that the hips are in one line with the body, and then slowly lowering down so that your chest touches the block. Stay here for a moment, and then press into the hands to come back up. We'll do 4 more of these. Inhale to prepare, and exhale, lowering down. Keeping your head reaching forward, neck remains in a neutral position. Then press into the hands, rising back up. Doing so well, we're halfway through. Coming back down once more, keeping the core engaged and the legs strong. Then pushing the ground away, coming up. Last one, lowering down with full control. And then pushing back up. Great job. Remove the block off to the side, come onto your belly, stacking one hand on top of the other and resting your forehead in crocodile. Turn the head towards the right so that the left cheek comes onto the hands. Slide the right leg out to the side, releasing through the back. Then coming back through center and over to the other side. This time the right cheek is resting on the hands and the left knee comes out to the side. And then coming back. Using the least amount of energy as possible, flip over onto your back, finding Shavasana. Staying here for as long as you like, letting the body integrate our practice today. It's quite common after doing these sort of exercises to feel some soreness in your wrists, maybe through your arm and shoulders. And if this is the case, I encourage you to rest your wrists as much as possible and then do the warm wrist video as well as the nourished neck and shoulders video. I hope you have a wonderful day ahead of you. Namaste.